Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Now we're dealing with the number patterns, right? Yeah. It's just a revision, eh? Just a revision, a grade 11 revision. So okay, let's start with this question, eh? So okay, I want to show you guys how to do how to like attempt these questions of number pattern, eh? So okay, now they are saying given the following quadrant number pattern, eh? We're given 3, 4, 9, and 18. This is our quadrant number pattern, right? So okay, okay. So in order to know, okay, like now, okay, let's just say I'll explain about the determination of how to determine your number pattern, right? So okay, now we're given the quadrant number pattern. So here I'm gonna show you how to determine the quadrant number pattern, but already we're given the quadrant number pattern, right? So here's how we determine the quadrant number pattern. So okay, here's how we do it. We have 3, 4, 9, and 18, eh? So okay, here's our first question, number A, eh? They are saying determine the general formula of this sequence. This sequence, right? In Tn, like Tn. So okay, yeah, like I'm sure like you already thought about these things. I don't know, but I remember like in our first term, like we were taught these things new, you know. So okay, here's our quadrant number pattern, eh? 3, 4, 9, 18. So okay, here on our number patterns now, what the things that we need to find most of the time, eh? We need to have that common difference, in order to know which number pattern is this one, no? But here we're given the quadrant number pattern, which means if it's a quadrant number pattern, you need to have two differences. Yes, you need to have the first difference and the second difference. So okay, so we have 3, 4, 9, 18, eh? So you say 4 minus 3. This is let me write, this is our first term, eh? Term 1, and this is our second term, term 2. This is our third term, which is term 3, and this is our term 4, ne? This is our term 4. These 4s and 3s, 2s and 1s, they are represented by this thing, the n. The n, it represents your term. You know what I mean? It represents your term. If you want to find the value of your term 1, okay, let me not just go any further, because I'll still explain these things further, but let me just show you guys how we do this thing is name. So okay, we're saying T2 always is like this. It's T2 minus T1, T3 minus T2, and T4 minus T3. This is how we deal with the sequences, ne? Our number pattern. This is just a grade 11 revision, eh? So this is how we start, guys. This term, guys, you need to pass. Yeah, this term you need to pass, guys. You need to get those distinctions. You feel me? So okay, you always do it like this: term 2 minus term 1, term 3 minus term 2, term 4 minus term 3, so and so and so and so on. You feel me? So okay, here we have our first difference. Let me show you how we find our first difference. Like let me just show you how we find our differences. So in order to find our first difference, this sequence is our first difference. First difference. So this pattern here is our second difference. You get me? So in order to find your first difference, okay, so in our first difference we have term 1 and term 2 and term 3. Here's how we do it. In order to find this one, you have to say term number 2 minus term 1, and then is term number 2 is 4, ne? And then term our first term is what? 3. So you are going to say 4 minus 3. So you are gonna get 1. You feel me? So then you come here to your second term on our first difference. So here's how you do it: term 3 minus term 2. You feel me? This is how you always do it when you want to like attack, when you want to attempt, when you want to like tackle the sequences. So okay, 9 minus 4 you have is 5, ne? So okay, we have 18 minus 9 is what? 9, ne? So okay, you can see that these numbers are not the same, right? 1, 5 and 9, these ones are not common. And remember, we're dealing with the quadrant number pattern. You get me? So here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. In order to find your second difference, is how you do it. You take the second term minus the first term, and then the third term minus the second term. So here, in order to find 4, we have 5 minus 1, term 2 minus the term 1 on our first difference. You get me? So then we're gonna get 4. So then 9 minus 5 is what? Is 4. So because we have the common number, we have the common difference, so it means we're gonna leave it there. So this is our quadrant number pattern, right? We have our first difference and our second difference. So let's go further. So in order, so you have to find your, don't forget that your, so yeah, here's how we do it. You know, we have the formula for Tn, right? So and the Tn, it has a b and a as a variable, and it also has a b as a variable. It also has a c as a variable. Those are constants. You know what I mean? Those are constants. Most c most especially is a constant. So like we are still gonna get our formula. I don't wanna rush it. You know what I mean? Cause you guys have you have the foundation of this thing. So I'm just giving you guys a revision. So in order to find your a, use this formula. In order to find your a, use this formula. It's 2a. Don't forget, guys, don't forget that our Tn is like this, guys. I said that I was gonna skip it, but then I just feel like I'm gonna lose you guys. But then let me just write it. We have Tn. This is our general equation, for the sequences, plus Bn plus C. This is the equation that we're going to use. You know, this is this is the general for, this is the let me just say it's an equation, but remember that we have the things that we need to find, the terms that we need to find, the numbers that we need to find, the variables we need to find. We have our a, we need to find it. Find a, and also find what? B as well. Also find our B. Find it. And also what? Our C. Yes, to find it. As I've said, our C is our constant. Remember that. Constant, right? Yes, this our C is our constant, which means it stays alone. It is not a coefficient. Oh, the coefficients are A and B, because there is N and N. Mashrin kabo A na B. Wabona musne. So okay. So here's how we go much further. As I've said, in order to find your A, this is your A, you have to say 2A is equal to the second difference. The second difference. 2A is equal to the second difference. You know what I mean? Always don't forget these formulas, guys. Don't forget these tips. Don't forget these things. Don't forget these strategies. Don't forget these tips. So okay, in order to find your B, you have to use this formula. In order to find your B, you have to use 3A plus B is equal to what? Your first difference. And don't forget, guys, we have this thing in, guys. We have our first difference and our second difference, right? So in order to find your constant, you have to say A plus B plus C is equal to first term. You feel me? You feel me? Your first term. And also, or you can do it. Your constant is equal to your term 0. Your term 0. You feel me? That's how we do it. Your term 0. Your term 0 is equal to your constant. I guess you know that we have term 1 and term 2 and term 3 whatsoever, and then we also have our T0, but here we have our T1. We don't have our T0. But you can also find your T0. But then, no, let's just do this. Let's use this. Let's not complicate things further when I just use these formulas, guys. Because if I say T0 is equal to C, I'm going to confuse you guys because we don't have a T0 here. You feel me? But you can find it in order so that you can find your C. What do you get me? So okay, let's go further. So 2a, I get upset. In order to find your a, you have to say 2a is equal to your second difference. So 2a is equal to our second difference, which was 4. This is our second difference, right? So in order to be left with a alone, you have to divide both sides by 2. I get it. We need to be left. We have to be left with a alone, one, because we are looking for this a. So you have to say first you have to divide by 2 both sides, and then when we divide the 2's here, they cancel each other, and then we're left with a, and then it's 4 divided by 2, and then we're left with what? 2. Then our a is what? Is 2. So then we have, so okay, we have our a already. So then let's find our b. Our b, you know that we use this formula is 3a plus b is equals to what? Your first term. Yeah, I mean your first difference, not your first term. Your first difference. You get me? So 3a plus b is equal to, what is your first difference? Here's our first difference. We have, on our first difference, we have this first term, which is 1. So then we're gonna put 1 here. So then you go further, and then you say 3 into 2, because it's 2. Our a is 2 because we already found a. You see? So here's how we go much further. Plus b is equal to 1. B, we don't have b. We're looking for b. So b is equal to, we transpose 3 multiplied by 2 to the other side, and then it will change a sign. It will no longer be positive, and then it will be negative. So that it will be 1 minus 6. You get me? Because 3 multiplied by 2 is what? Is 6. So our b is equal to -5. Why do we have a -5 and not just 5? It's because we take the sign of a bigger number. Do you get me? Always, when you deal with these things, you always take the number of you always take the sign of a bigger number. And then our bigger number here is what? Is 6. And then the sign of our 6 is what? Is negative. So then we're gonna have negative as our sign, and then 5, because it's just like, it is basically 6 minus 1. You get me? But then you take the sign of a bigger number, because these things are not the same. 1 minus 6 and 6 minus 1, they are not the same. You'll find the same values, but the signs will be different. You get me? Let's just say, let me give you something, okay? I get it is 1 minus 6, ne? So then let's say 6 minus 1. It will give you just 5. You always take the sign of a bigger number. Our 6 here is what? Is positive. That's why our 5 is positive. You get me? So okay, and then we found our b, and then it's done. So then let's go to, in order to find our constant, our c. This is what I used to do, guys. I've always used these procedures in order to like pass my sequences tests and whatever. You feel me? So okay, here you use this formula. Is a plus b plus c is equal to the first term, our T1, the first term. You know what I mean? The first term. We are no longer looking at our differences here. You feel me? So your a, you have him, is what? Is 2. And then it's plus into -5. We have our b. Don't forget our b. Just put the bracket so that you don't get distracted when you or maybe you don't let me say, so that you don't get confused when pressing your calculators. It's 2 and then plus. This plus is from here. And then you say into -5. -5, you take him as whole, you know what I mean, and put him inside the brackets. and then plus c. Plus c, we're looking for this c. It's our constant. It doesn't have a friend that it is attached to. You feel me? Then it's equals to 3. Your 3 is your what? It's your first term. Let's go back there. On our quadrant number pattern is 3, 4, 9, 18. Then your first term is what? 3. You feel me? It's your term 1. You feel me? Like, always do these, guys. Always indicate your things when you are attempting these questions, so that you don't, like, every question concerning mathematics and physics, man, like, always find the main values, the main things, the main things to look at. Once what? You know that this is your term 1, this is your term 2, term 3, term 4. Write these things, guys. Write these things to show and indicate your term 1, your term 2, term 3, and term 4. This is how you do it. You get me? So okay, let's go and find our c, our constant. As I've said, we have our a already. We calculated a. The b, we already have him, and then plus c. Plus the c, we don't have him. It's a constant. Then it's equals to 3. It's your first term. So then you're saying 2, and then this is negative because it's plus multiplied by negative. So then you are going to have a negative value, because a positive multiplied by a negative is always negative, which means that negative is always stronger than positive. You feel me? Damn. Okay. But it depends. It depends on the number. It depends on the number that holds the sign. You feel me? But then let's just continue. It's 2. Positive multiplied by negative is negative 5, right? Plus c is equals to 3, our first term, right? And then c, and then 2 minus 5. Okay, don't forget, you always take the sign of a bigger number, which means here we're gonna have the what? The negative 3. You feel me? Now, yeah, let me not confuse you guys. Okay, we have the negative 3 here. You get me? 2 minus 5. You always take the sign of a bigger number. Which number is big between 2 and 5? It's 5, right? So you're gonna take the sign of that bigger number. And then the value is a result of 5 minus 2, and then which is 3. Like, guys, man, I use your calculators, and then just use your calculators, say 2 minus 5. But I'd really recommend, casual. You know, use casual, guys. When you're dealing with calculations, always use casual when you're in high school. So okay, so then in order to be left with c alone, we have to transpose negative 3, and then bring the negative 3, this 3 to the other side. But then it will change the sign, because it jump in an equal sign. So as it comes to this side, it will have to be a positive number. Do you get me? So then our c is equals to 3. This 3, our first term, plus the 3 that we found here. And then is c is equals to 6. So then we already have our constant term, which is 6. Our c is what? Is 6. You get me? Okay, so let's go further. Okay, let me explain this to you guys, because you can see this is our general formula. This is our general formula, and I think I wrote it somewhere here. Yeah, I wrote it. This is our general formula. You feel me? So you have to find a, b. You have to find a, b, and c always. So okay, let's go, because now we already have our a, we already have our b, we already have our c. So here's how we do it, man. So in your general formula, you substitute a, b, and c only. You feel me? In order to find, because they said determine the general formula. General formula, you need to determine the general formula. It means like your end result, like your end results need to be in this format. You feel me? But then you find a, b, and c. So here's how we do it, guys. In place of a, I've put 2. This n, just leave n alone, guys. You leave n alone, because asked to determine the general formula. You feel me? So in place of a, you put 2n squared, ne? Plus, in place of b, you put what? Negative 5 multiplied by n. You leave n. So then plus your c is what? Is 6. We found 6, ne? So then it's equal to 2n squared negative 5n plus 6. Our 5 is negative because it's a positive multiplied by a negative, and then you have your answer. It's okay. Let's go. We're done. So, okay, you have your now you have your formula. So okay, number B, we're still dealing with question A, right? Our question A, we're still dealing with that question. So now we're coming to our question B. They are asking what is the value of term 105. Yeah, they're asking what is the value of term 105. So I get it now. We have our formula. This is our formula. Okay, we have okay, tm, right? Okay, it's equals to 2n squared minus 5n plus 6. This is our general formula. It means like the questions that they are going to ask afterwards, we're going to look at this general formula in order to find the question that in order to find the answer of the question that is asked, ne? So what is the value of term 105? Okay, so as I've said, they are saying term 105. Our n represent the term, the number term. You feel me? Your n represent the, okay, let me just say term number, right? Let me just say term number. It represents your term number. So they're asking you the value of term 105. You feel me? They're asking your T105. In place of n, you replace it with 105. Your n, you replace it with 105. So okay, term 105 is equal to, don't forget, like, just always say first, just write your general formula. 2n plus no, it's not a plus, it's a minus 5n plus 6, right? So then this is n, guys, n and n. I'm sorry, forgive me for my handwriting. So okay, we have 2 into, in place of n, you place 105. 2 into 105 squared, ne? Minus 5 into 105 plus 6, right? So then you punch your calculator. You punch this in your calculator, and then you'll find this. You feel me? This is the value of term 105, and then you are done. So okay, they are saying, so number C, we're done with number B. So number C, which term has value of what is this one? 10,299. Yes, you are still going to use your general formula, which is Tn is equals to 2n squared minus 5n plus 6. So because here you want the term, they're asking which term has value of 10,299. So here's what you're gonna do. Your Tn already, this is your Tn. You feel me? This is the value of a certain term. This one, the value. Let me just write it like that. It's a what? A value. Tn is your value, but don't forget your n represents your term number, ne? So okay, here we have our Tn, which is what? 10,299. Because here they're asking you which term, which means you need to find your n. You need to find your what? Your n. This Tn is your value. So now you need to find your n. You feel me? Your n. So here's how we're gonna do it. So we are gonna say, in place of Tn, you're gonna place 10,299, which is equals to 2n squared minus 5n plus 6. I guess we're finding the n, right? So you do it like that. So as we go further, here's how we do it. So okay, yeah, because we took 10,499 to the other side, and then we're left with 0 on our left hand side. This is our left hand side, and then this is our right hand side. Do you get me? So 0 is equal to 2n minus 5n, and then 6 minus 10,299. Remember, you always take the sign of a bigger number. That's why here we have a negative 10,293. You feel me? So here's what we did. So we used the quadrant formula. Don't forget the quadrant formula, because like already the sequence, it was already given to us that it is a quadrant number pattern. So don't be ashamed of using your quadratic formula. Your quadratic formula, again, we are used to x being x we're used to this one, x being x is equals to minus b plus minus sorry guys, it's minus b ish. This place is not comfortable, bruh. But then okay, plus minus ne, then into your square root ne is b squared minus 4ac, divide by overall ne over 2a. We are used to this one. But then here, and then in place of x, we're going to put n, because we're looking for this term. We're looking for the n, the term, you feel me, the term of this value, the 10,299 value, right? So n is equal to minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So you just punch in your calculator. Because you know the general formula already. We have tn, which was a squared, it's an squared, right, plus bn plus c, right? So in place of b, you already know the value of b, which was negative 5, right? You already know the value of 2, which of a, which was 2. You already know the value of c, which was 6, right? So here, in place of b, you say minus into, you open your bracket. Let me just, because people, they like to be fast, and then they tend to miss certain things. Once what? No, let me not write it here. Let me just say, so is equal to minus, you feel me, inside of b, you're gonna put negative 5, right? And then you close your bracket, and then you say plus or minus, and then you say so inside of b, we already know that we have a negative value, which is negative 5, and then minus 4, and then your a, you know, is 2, right? And then your c, you already know that it is 6 ish. Let me just say, okay, our a is 2 there. Yeah, we have 6 here, ne? So then you're gonna divide by 2 into 2, because your a is 2, ne? So it's 2 times 2. So here you're gonna find two values. You're always gonna find two values here. You're always gonna find two values, and then the two values, the other one will give you a negative and the other one will give you a positive. So just look at the precise one. But here, guys, look at this thing. We don't have a negative term. We don't have a negative term. You can't say you're gonna have a negative t1. You just can't write it like that, doc. You can't just write it like that. Your term is like an integer. It's 1, is 0, 1, 2. Yeah, it's like an integer. Abo, they always need to be positive. Your ends, they always need to be positive. Like your ends, they always need to be positive. You feel me? So when you put your calculator, bitch, your calculator won't allow you to write positive and then negative like this. When first ignore the negative, right, and focus on your positive. Ignore this negative and focus on your positive. The first value of n, do it like that. You ignore your negative and focus on your positive, and then you're gonna find your value. You're gonna find two values, and then after you find your value using this sign of positive, write it down just as I wrote it here. You feel me? Write it down. So then the second thing you need to do, you need to remove, don't erase everything. I get it, you found your answer. When I just go back and then remove the positive and then place the negative, and then you're gonna find your second n, which is positive. N is 73. So it means you're gonna use this one. This one is applicable, and then this one is non applicable because it is a negative. Yeah, because it is negative. You can't have a term that is negative. You can't, I mean, like, you can't have an n that is negative. Always positive. It's term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, term 70 something, 10, 70, 100. You feel me? Like that. So okay, let's go to our second thing. Man, these guys, let me just give you an example. No, this is but then sure, let me just continue with it. Let me just continue with it. Let me just Marana. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.